This video is to allow you to recognize that the divine plan is always at work in your life. Whether you recognize it or not, whether you can identify it or not, and whether you realize it or not, it's always there. Understand that God never gives up on you, even when you have given up on yourself. So therefore, it is your unconscious societal programming mechanisms that force you to be blinded to the reality of the universe and the plan at work in your life, even when you fail to see it. And why is this? Because your egocentric contrivances will not allow you to recognize something that is counterintuitive to what the ego is looking to generate in your reality as your reality. So you can look around and think that you have been forsaken by God, but you have not. It's just that your ego controls your reality, and the ego is a conduit through which the darkness funnels its energy into your mind. So therefore, you can literally be in a low vibrational environment and have these wonderful things happening around you. It's just that you don't recognize them because you have been trained and programmed not to. So therefore, you feel forsaken and left out and abandoned. You feel discouraged and disgusted and upset. And that's what forces you to become even more disconnected from Source. The farther away from Source, the more degraded the connectivity and receptivity until there is 100% latency. So therefore, you're in a vibrational environment that is not allowing you to see the divine plan at work in your life, because the divine plan operates in every vibrational environment. Low, high, mid, ultra high, ultra low, extremely low, it doesn't matter. Because when you say divine, you say source, universe, you say God. So let's not, play penny any games here. That's the truth. So the universe is always going to help you no matter where you are in your journey. Your lowest, your highest, somewhere in the mediocrity of your existence, it doesn't matter. Sometimes we get lost and disconnected from ourselves. It doesn't matter. I'm just trying to get you to realize that this is, an offering from universe to you, saying that no matter what you believe things to be in your reality, you are not abandoned by God. You're not rejected. You're not forsaken. You haven't been left behind or cut off or disconnected or absolutely just isolated or treated like, subhuman or something like that. It's not the case. The reason why you don't see these things happening is because you have a perceptive lens that has been conditioned by the matrix to not allow you to see these things because you're blinded. That's why you see life through the eyes of war, and you will only perceive enemies, existential threats at your door, everybody out to get you. That's where you're hypervigilant, always on guard, high alert, panic stations. It's always a constant. So that feeds into the propaganda and the narrative and the agenda of what they're looking to accomplish by crippling every aspect of your journey and basically neutralizing you, paralyzing you, desensitizing you, mesmerizing you with that hypnotic collective hive mind mentality that they have. It's like a mass hypnosis. They basically just neutralize every aspect of your being, and they euthanize your inner child. That's what we're really talking about here. So that's why you can't see what's actually happening. But all you have to do is just come out of that vibrational environment and just peek around, and you can see it, because then you're not viewing life through that conditioned, controlled, perceptive lens that the matrix has controlled and it continues to operate and own, because you're not seeing anything. You're blind. And the matrix wants you to be blinded to the reality of the divine plan that's always unfolding before you. And you see these people so angry, so disconnected, so disenchanted, discouraged, upset, frustrated, perturbed, really just enraged and infuriated because God, I didn't get what I wanted. That's what happens. When you don't get what you want, you have a temper tantrum like a child. That's conditioning. That's absolute conditioning. That's why you can't handle the truth. If the truth hurts, you're living a lie. Think about what I just said, because you've never been presented with the actual truth. So when it actually presents itself, you're freaking butthurt. You just get all up in yourself. How dare you and all that? Yeah, because you're not used to the truth. Because you have to understand something. What you call reality is an illusion. They made it that way. They package their illusions as reality, and you buy into it because you validate these things as such. So therefore, it becomes that. And then their lies become your truth, because the only thing they're going to present to you as a form of a narrative through the content that you consume is prevarication, packaged as truth. So of course, you're going to embrace that the truth. So what does that say about where you are? You're existing in the vacuum of illusions, and you're continuously fed lies that you think are truth. So that's what you're projecting. So that's why you're blocking the perceptive lens required through the persistence of vision to allow you to view these things that are actually there for you. You perceive them as an existential threat because they don't fall into alignment with the social narrative and your perceptive lens, your polarized mentality, your egocentric perceptive lens of duality, separatism, isolationism, disconnection, the lack, loss, absence mentality, the victim mentality. I mean, I can go on. Materialism, hedonism, egoism. It all feeds into this narrative. That's why you don't recognize the beauty that surrounds you, because you're not programmed to do it. You're programmed to be blinded to it, and you're programmed to reject any random acts of kindness. So in other words, even if you don't see it, physically see it, and it approaches you and says, here's this offering, here, this is for you. You're like, get the heck out of here. What do you want from me? Why are you doing this? And you look at somebody like, what do you want from me? He must have some ulterior motive or something, trying to mitigate, my money, trying to get at something. He must want something from me. That's exactly what you're trained to do. So not only are you blinded to the divine plan, but you reject all random acts of kindness that God is offering you. So where do you think that leaves you? Right back into the matrix again, where they want you. Apathetic, stoic, violent, dumbed down, morbidly obese, and nothing but, an obsequious sycophant. Completely oblivious to the nefarious machinations that are going on. That's exactly what's going on. Completely clueless as to what's going on. So you're just really mad in your comfort zone, and you just keep isolating, and you like a self-imposed exile, and you refuse to stay there. And at the same time, you've got the blinders on to everything. When you change the way you view the world you view will change. You have to make a conscious and concerted effort to get out of that rat hole that you're in and peek around at life. Because God has been trying to help you all along, because God has been helping you all along, whether you recognize it or not, whether you realize it or not. So therefore, you have to understand something. You don't recognize the divine plan because it does not fall in alignment with the egocentric contrivances of the satanic matrix. So therefore, you're blind to what's staring at you right in your face, point blank. Recognize the divine plan at work in your life. I've said this before. Recognize the love that surrounds you and the unconditional love that is given to you continuously, because every breath is given to you by God. You are not taking any breaths. If God were to consciously disconnect from all of creation, everything would blink out of existence in less than a zeptosecond. Because we're all plugged into source, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, boys and girls, make no mistake. You're not plugged into yourself. When you get a cut on your arm, the body doesn't heal itself. Source does. When you fall asleep, does it not stand to reason to say the truth that your heart continues to beat and you continue to breathe, but you're in a state of unconsciousness? How is that possible? Source. See, these things you take for granted, that are given to you, without any type of exchange of any type of payment being requested from you. Think about it. It's all free. It's all free. So don't fault God because you failed to see the divine plan hard at work in your life. It's just that you are unconsciously blocking because of your programming. As I've said many times before, and this is probably the last time I'm going to say it, the darkness will always give you everything you need in order for you to destroy yourself. And I mean everything. Blocking you from seeing the divine plan, causing you to be programmed for self-destruction, laughing at the notion of your own success, giving yourself a zillion excuses why you're not going to live your dreams and may not provide yourself with one single reason why you should. And I could just keep going on like this all day long. So the reason you do not see the divine plan at work in your life, because it is not in alignment with the contrivances that the darkness has for you as an obedient slave. They want you to be blinded and dumbed down and obedient. Like a mongrel society is what they want. They don't want you to have any intelligence. Ever notice how these commercials that they show on TV just get more ignorant and more ignorant and more ignorant? Pretty much, I saw one pizza commercial where they have, I think it's a pizza commercial, where they have people just running around like barking dogs, because that's what they want you to associate with. That's how they dumb you down. I remember like a year and a half ago, they had the poop emojis, because that's how they see you, as a pile of poop. They want you to see yourself like that. I hope you're catching on. This is the reason why you're unconsciously blocking. You know, whenever the divine plan tries to send something to you, you're like, nope. You shut it down, you reject it, you block it, you isolate, you just deflect. Barriers, borders, barriers, barricades, boundaries, walls, lock it out. And at the same time, you're blinding yourself to the divine plan that's working in your life, whether you realize it or not, whether you want it or not. God will never give up on you, even when you've given up on yourself. That's unconditional love. The reason is that God sees the potential in you that you fail to see in yourself because you're blinded by the darkness. That's exactly what's going on. You don't even realize your unlimited transformative potential that you carry is a cosmic being that is merged in creative unity with the synergy of the divine collective consciousness that is source. Straight truth, man. Straight truth. Religion is evil, straight out. You know, straight out. All of it is. It's all evil. It's all propaganda. It's all just garbage. It's agendas. It's just the same rhetoric. You know, do as I say, the word of God. Give us your money. Word of God. Give us your money. Here comes the wicker basket. Give us your money. Oh, word of God. The wrath of God is upon you. You will burn in hell for not filling our bank accounts. That's the way it rolls in that system. Tax-exempt corporation, ladies and gentlemen. But anywho, just come out of that dark hole you're in. You know, see the beauty around you. You could see it unfurled before you. You've been trained to recognize everything that is in alignment with what the Matrix wants you to confirm as reality, which is all an illusion. Only when you exit their illusions will you begin to enter your own reality, because when their lies become your truth, their illusions become your reality. So you have to invert these things. Absolutely. Absolutely. Where you begin to enter your own reality, you know, and live your own truth. That's when you will be able to have a persistence of vision high enough and a perceptive lens that is aligned with a divine plan. As I've said before, when you change the way you view the world you view will change. Because the universe will concur with that dominant vibrational alignment that you're carrying and transmitting. And that's what you will receive in the form of experiences that match the dominant vibrational frequency of those transmissions you're broadcasting. That's it. So you have to just come correct with yourself and saying, I'm not going to exist in a vacuum anymore. I've got to come out of that shell and I've got to start living my life, thriving instead of existing. Thriving is far more than living. Existence is less than survival. So the reason you're not seeing the divine plan is because you are not a vibrational equivalent to embrace these things. All you know is materialism, hedonism, superficiality, narcissism, consumerism. That's what you recognize as the only reality there is. The only life there is the system that they have contrived, their infrastructure, the network, the grid. That's all you recognize. You don't recognize the universe. You just see the earth as a lifeless rock. That's your playground, that you could do what you want. It's not that way. Not at all. So recognize the divine plan is always hard at work, helping you, whether you want the help or not, whether you choose to receive it or not, whether you choose to believe it or not, whether you choose to accept it or not, and whether you choose to embrace it or not.